Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Attorney John Deaton had to say in response to that. Welcome to the Conspiracy Theory Club. We've been pointing out the massive conflicts of interest and gross appearances of impropriety, and we provided an actual video library proving it all. No one has refuted the timeline of facts. Instead, they call us conspiracy theorists. You know, and I don't have it pulled up for this video, but I retweeted that some hours ago. And I pointed out, it's like, this is, where else can you go, basically? Where else can you go to get claimed to be a conspiracy theorist when all you're doing is pointing out actual facts that nobody disputes, and you still get called a conspiracy theorist? Like, where else can you do that but in the XRP community, pointing out what's happened surrounding the SEC and Ethereum? Where else can that happen? Well, nowhere. It's completely absurd. Then there was this from attorney John Deaton, who tagged Jeremy Kauffman. Now, Jeremy Kauffman, he is the CEO of LBRY. Jeremy Kauffman was told that if his company, LBRY, holds any LBC tokens, and it sells any of those tokens while performing any maintenance or upgrades to the network, the token constitutes an unregistered security. You can hold and believe in Ethereum, but still be outraged. So think about this. What does that mean for Ethereum? Like, go back to Ethereum again. ETH 2.0, anybody? They may have dropped that moniker. I think that they might have dropped the I don't really follow it that closely, to be honest with you. I just know Ethereum, since its inception, has had serious scaling issues, and even Joe Lubin, all the other founders, they understood that it's not something that was scalable and that additional work would have to occur. So here you go, something that's not functionally really working. It's not all the way there, and again, it was a prototype effectively. So, you know, building out ETH 2.0, or if they're calling it something else now, I can't remember because, again, I don't follow that closely. That the SEC turns a blind eye. Major player, everybody knows in crypto what the hell Ethereum is. Number 2 crypto by market cap. But here you have Jeremy Kauffman with LBRY, much smaller project, and he was told by the SEC, if you even upgrade the network, because that somehow makes it look like there's a common enterprise, even just upgrading. What the hell? What does it mean to have a finished product? Think about that. And he pointed that in the interview too, with John Deaton. It's like, so what does it mean to have a finished product? Is the internet done? Is Gmail done? Is Google done? The search engine? Is it just like, do you have to reach a point where it's actually, that's not how technology works, folks. Always upgrades are necessary. And they have to know this. They just don't really care. They just want to take a hammer to what other people are building because they're complete asshats. And then there was this from John Deaton's crypto law organization. They're highlighting the Joseph Lubin tweet right there. It wrote, while Ripple and LBRY are getting sued by the SEC, this high-profile market participant makes this material fact announcement to the markets. And again, the announcement that they have a significant treasury of Ethereum and they're using it to build out the ecosystem. What in the ever-loving hell, folks? What in the ever... This is not an equal distribution of justice. This is not a level playing field. And then you see these people that set up the policy over the last years, you see how the way that there's been this unequal distribution of justice, how it's benefited those specifically that have rendered this landscape into existence. They're fine. It's pretty freaking gross. And then there was this from an XRP community member named Jay, who retweeted that same comment from Joseph Lubin and wrote, what? But Ripple can't have a treasury of XRP? So think about it. Joseph Lubin, treasury of ETH. But Ripple, they can't have a treasury of XRP? Although technically it's not holding it that's the problem, but if you ever sell it, then you're in trouble. It's not the holding of it. It's not technically the treasury of it, but it's the fact that you have it and then you're also selling it. So in the case of Ripple, even if it's just for the purposes of doing whatever they can to whatever degree they have the capacity to manage liquidity for on-demand liquidity, they can't even do that according to the SEC. Completely ridiculous. So all these valuable use cases, just throw them out the window because of something from 1946 having to do with oranges. And so John Deaton responded to that, and he was referencing Eleanor Terrett with Fox News and Charles Gasparino also with Fox News, and he wrote, Ellie and Charlie, we know how many XRP tokens Ripple owns. Each quarter, Ripple publishes XRP quarterly reports detailing sales or transfers of XRP. Jeremy Kauffman of Library provided a ledger showing exactly where the money went or goes. Both got sued. Transparency is the crime. And that is what it looks like, isn't it? Because look, fine. Joseph Lubin, maybe he's getting a little gutsy here, posting what he said, oh, significant treasury. Okay, fine. We still don't know how much he holds. He doesn't want to share that. He's not particularly transparent. I think, so why did he share that? I think he's cocky. He's just cocky. He thinks he's invincible. That would be my bet. That's just my speculation. That's what it looks like to me. Because he's gone so far as to make the argument, dating back to almost a whole decade ago at this point, that they intentionally didn't call ETH a cryptocurrency because they didn't want to get sued into oblivion by the SEC. So they were initially, especially in the earliest of days, claiming that ETH was actually just fuel for the network. And a fuel for a network, that can't be a security, right? Well, it's just as stupid as if imagine if I called myself like a grizzly bear. I'm like, no, I'm not human. I am a grizzly bear. Well, I'm clearly a human. It's just as stupid as if like a Bitcoin maxi troll out there, Bitcoin, Ripple scam coins here. Just imagine a Bitcoin maxi troll. That's what they sound like, and that's pretty much all they say. Imagine a Bitcoin maxi troll claiming to be a human. Well, you still know it's not a human. A Bitcoin maxi troll is not the same species. It's a Bitcoin maxi troll, right? And so here you have Joseph Lubin claiming that ETH, it's fuel, not a cryptocurrency. That was, what? Just trying to skirt the system. It's stupid. It's completely ridiculous. Then there was this from Attorney John Dean. Jeremy Kauffman offered to do anything to resolve the case. He offered to dissolve Library and sell the assets at auction. He followed the advice of Perkins Coie. He asked the SEC to explain what he can do to comply. They said it's not their job to show him how to comply. Isn't that insane, folks? They won't tell him, okay, well, what you're doing, it's wrong and it's illegal, but we're not going to tell you how to fix it. In theory, there's a way to fix it. We're not going to tell you what you're doing wrong so that you can fix it. We're just going to make a bunch of claims, and then the claims are the bad part, but in terms of how to comply, good luck. It's completely crazy. And he's true. That is true. In the interview, Jeremy Kauffman, he said he literally, this is how much he just believes in the project. The only thing that he wouldn't allow ever is for LBC to be registered with the SEC, because then it's worthless. Because it's like, if you did that, like, to what degree would it even be decentralized if that were the thing? So he's like, that's the only thing I won't do. But he said he would actually literally dissolve his own freaking company and just sell the assets at auction, just be done with it. That's how much the project means. Now that is inspiring, and I just thought it was pretty cool. And also, he got legal advice before this all happened from Perkins Coie. That's the same firm that Ripple went to back in 2012, literally. That's the same firm that said, hey, Ripple, there's always risk associated with anything in life, but if you go to market the way that you're describing here, XRP would not be likely to be found to be a security by the SEC. Back in 2012. Perkins Coie is also the firm that helped write the Billy Boy Hinman Ethereum free pass speech that he gave on June 14th of 2018. So Perkins Coie, very well known in the world of crypto. And then there was this from the official Library Twitter account. It's a fake conversation between Library and the SEC, but the gist of it actually happened. And so here you go. SEC says the following: your token looks like a security. Library says, oh no, is there anything we can do to change that? SEC says, yes, but you have to guess what it is. Library says, can you give us any hints? SEC, no. Library just guesses. SEC says, you guessed wrong, now we punish you. Which is a silly way of looking at it, but that is what happened. There's a reason over 3,000 people to this point have already hit like on that. It's because it rings true, and this is actually what's happened. Now take a look at this. There was this video clip. It went on a couple minutes. I'm not going to play it, but it was a JW Barrett who I was citing at the beginning of this video. And he was just on a video conference. Gary Gensler was on the call too, and he was not being rude, just to be clear. But he was making his opinion known. And Gary Gensler, he responded at the end, and Gary Gensler was actually cordial and polite, but you'd kind of expect that. He's just speaking, put those kind-sounding words out there, but then just be basically a complete devil and a dictator behind the scenes in terms of the way that you manage things at the SEC and go after the crypto market. Okay. And so, Crypto Law here wrote, outgoing SEC Advisory Committee member fires off criticism to Gary Gensler on his handling of digital assets as he leaves his position. And there was this, Yeah, here we go. So this is an actual tweet from J.W. Barrett on this, sharing the clip. Upon my term ending on the SEC's advisory committee last week, I took the chance to give Chair Gensler some strong words about his abuse of digital assets. Check out Gensler's response. And again, his response actually was cordial. And J.W. Barrett, despite the fact that he's saying he was strongly worded and, hey, Gary, you're abuse of digital assets, despite all that, they were being adults. And so I can respect that. That's fine. But take a look at this article on this exact topic, because this is what he was talking about in the video clip. This article is from Cointelegraph, January 19th this year, 2022, titled SEC Advisory Committee Member Calls Agency to Open for Public Comment on Crypto Regulation. Now take a look at this, because he shreds, and this is really going to resonate with anyone in the XRP community, he shreds the way that the SEC is going after crypto markets. Associate law professor and member of the Securities and Exchange Commission's Investor Advisory Committee, J.W. Barrett, is calling for the government agency to open for public comment in regards to digital asset regulation. In a petition addressed to SEC Secretary Vanessa Countryman, Barrett said opening the floor to comments on digital assets could function as a genesis block for the SEC to reform its regulations on digital assets. Yeah, pause. I don't think the SEC at this particular juncture in time is interested in reforming its approach on digital assets, but this is still very admirable, and I'm glad that J.W. Barrett is doing this. People need to continue to speak out and bring the fight to the SEC. Anyway, piece continues. Barrett said he was a holder of Bitcoin, Ether, and, quote, a number of Layer 1 and Layer 2 tokens readily available on top-tier exchanges, end quote, and was concerned how the SEC could potentially crack down on tokens it currently does not consider securities. Folks, this is exactly what the fear has been in the space, especially after the SEC came after Ripple, claiming XRP is an unregistered security of the company. Because if XRP is an unregistered security, what other cryptos do you listening to this hold that the SEC will later attack, ruining the market price of that for you as well? I mean, there's a lot at stake here, and that's exactly what J.W. Barrett is saying right there. Piece continues. Under the SEC's strategically ambiguous interpretation of the Howey test regarding classification of investment contracts, I cannot be certain that the SEC will not in the future target one of my token holdings under the guise of the Commission's investor protection mission in a manner that would ultimately cause me significant losses as a property owner. And that's a quote from J.W. Barrett. And then he said, this open call for comment is the only way to appropriately crowdsource this issue and appropriately develop a digital asset regulation genesis block. Golf clap for Mr. J.W. Barrett. It's the only people that actually think that the SEC's approach to crypto is the right approach are those people in the SEC at the top. And not even everybody at the SEC thinks this is the right approach, like Hester Peirce, SEC Commissioner, for example. But this is what they're doing. And then he cited down here, quote, I believe this is ultimately a losing strategy for the SEC as an institution.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.